Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and today I have a designer series card featuring the brand new Party Animals stamps and dies. And this is a pop-up card, so the scene not only is on the front of the card, but the inside as well with the pop-up trio dies. I'm going to start with the front of the card here today. Here's a little look at the inside with the little pop-up scene. It's a little bit more simple than the front, but you can see where the scene on the front goes into the scene on the inside of the card. I just love finishing off cards with pop-up style dies. I've got a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock here that I'm going to apply spun sugar and dried marigold distress inks to for the pink and orange background. Something a little non-traditional for a sky, but I really like these colors. Nice, soft springtime colors for this card. Once I have these two nice kind of pastel-y, springy colors applied to the Bristol Smooth cardstock, by the way, I'm using Bristol Smooth cardstock because I love how distress inks blend on it so seamlessly, so easily on this kind of cardstock. I'm going to spritz this with water from a distress sprayer. Let it sit for about 20-30 seconds and then blot it dry with a paper towel. That's going to add some really subtle distressing, especially for a light background like this. It's not going to be over the top, but you can see that it's got a little bit of that distressed look. Once this is completely dry, I'm going to take a greeting from the Surprise Sentiments stamp set. This is an older Mama Elephant greeting stamp set, and stamp a greeting there in the upper left corner of the scene. The Party Animals stamp set is all images, and I love that you can take any greeting stamp set that you have and create a celebration type of greeting card, whether it be birthdays, congratulations, any kind of celebrating or, excuse me, party type of card. These images are perfect for them. I absolutely love the little bunnies and the chicks. I think they're so much fun. So I stamped that with some black ink there in the top corner. And next I'm going to take the landscape trio dies and die cut two cloud borders, one from vellum, one from smooth white cardstock, to go along the bottom of my scene. I'm going to kind of tuck my little images into those clouds. I'm also going to take bunnies and chicks and the stack of cake, the balloon, and stamp them on some smooth white cardstock using an ink for Copic markers, since that's what I'm going to be using to color in my images. I'm using the Misty to stamp all of these images so that I can get them all stamped with nice crisp background. I actually inked them and stamped them twice. Kind of ignore that balloon in the center. I didn't particularly like that color combination. It didn't go with my background as well as I would have liked. I needed something a little bit lighter. So I'm actually going to color and stamp and color another balloon in a little bit. I colored in my chicks first. This is my favorite color combination for the little chicks. Y11, 8, 18, YR04 for the beak, and R20 for the cheeks. These little chicks are my favorite. I have used them on lots of cards. I think they are so super cute and fun. I don't know what it is about them, but I just absolutely love them. I use those same colors, including the orange, for the flames on the birthday cake. Here is that second balloon I stamped, and I'm going to go much lighter with my colors with RV000, 10, and 02. Much lighter, but this blends or looks so much better with the spun sugar distress ink, I think. So that's definitely, you can see a huge difference there. I kind of wish I had not done what I end up doing. I X'd out the one I didn't use just for video purposes, and later I thought that's kind of silly. I should have just kept it. I could use it for another card. So just ignore that I did that. I'm going to color in my bunnies now with some light warm gray markers. The darkest I'm going to go is warm gray 3, and that's only for shading. It's still going to give the illusion that these bunnies are kind of white, but I don't want them to be stark white. So I always like to use warm grays for my critters. I almost probably 99% of the time use warm grays. The birthday hats are all going to be in shades of pink, yellow, or peach, which blends nicely with the dried marigold. I'm also adding my cloudy borders across the bottom of my scene. I colored in the word birthday with some of those peachy markers as well. I kind of skipped around a little bit when I was working just to make or highlight that word birthday, I think, a little bit. It blends nicely with the background. I colored all 3 bunnies the same. I went ahead and left part of that out of the video just to shorten it up a little bit. Again, birthday hats. I wanted everything to be in kind of the yellow, pink, light pink and peach color combination. So my peach colors are YR0000, YR01, and sometimes YR02. Mostly that was just for the greeting for the word birthday, but I will use a little bit of that for the little party blower thing here. So super cute. Color all of these in. Skip down to the birthday cake. We're going to frost it with some pink frosting. I'm using all 3 colors of pink here that I used for the balloon as well. This also kind of helps limit the amount of markers you're using when you limit your color palette, I guess you want to say. Sometimes I tend to get crazy with the amount of markers I use, and then I try to limit it at times too. Just especially for something like this. There's a lot of repetition. There's bunnies, there's chicks, and then the party stuff. And I didn't want to go crazy. And especially with a light pastel background, I wanted everything to blend beautifully. Chocolate cake here with some earth tone markers. Then I die cut everything with the coordinating party animals dies. Now, a lot of times, and I've mentioned this before in my videos, I will start with a basic idea. And my basic idea is fantastic. I actually completely went with it. But once I get these images all built into this scene, I realized I needed some supporting elements. So included in the Party Animals stamp set, there are lots of supporting accessories, not just that birthday cake. There are a little wine bottle, there's cups, there's a little like maraca shaker, there's birthday presents, both a stack of them and a single present, music notes, the balloons, and both a star and a circle. And while I'm using the balloon and party cake already, I really felt like I needed some additional small elements. Plus those little teeny tiny stars. Yes, it's really teeny tiny, but I think they're fantastic for creating kind of that confetti look in the background. So I went ahead and stamped the individual gift package, the bottle of wine, a couple of glasses, and the stars, 5 stars, and I'm going to color all those in. Using up every little nook and cranny of this white sheet of cardstock here. You can see that I actually used it for my Congrats All Around card too. So there's multiple chicks and stars already die cut from it. I'm going to die cut all of those elements and then tuck them around the scene, and it just really adds such a fantastic finishing touch to the card. At this point, once I have all of the elements or the scene built, I have the background embellished with some confetti. I'm adding some accents to the eyes with a black glaze pen to really make them pop. The Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen to the balloon, to the party hats, to a few other elements here and there on the card. This card could be done. All you have to do is attach this to the front of a white sidefold card base and you can be finished. I even added some glossy accents to the word birthday. It's going to make that word pop even more, which I really love. You wouldn't have to do anything else. This is quite a bit already. I mean, it's definitely a very full scene, but I love adding something to the insides of my card as well. So I got a little too much glue there, so I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to add my little confetti pieces and finish this all up so I can set it aside to dry while I work on the inside of the card. I'm just using glossy accents to add little dabs of glue. These little star pieces are really too small for any adhesive that I have, so it's going to need a liquid glue anyway. My glossy accents was out since I used it for the word birthday, so that's what I used here. And I thought it really needed to be finished off with some additional kind of enamel dots, and I'm addicted to making my own with the Nuvo crystal and jewel drops. I think they're fantastic. I am using the Carnation Pink and Orange Marmalade drops. Just add a scattering of them all throughout my card. Again, they coordinate beautifully with the card design. So super fun. I'm going to set this aside to completely dry. I'm going to add a couple more, I think, up here by the little swoop in the word happy. And while I do that, I am going to need a side fold card base, and I'm going to need a panel for the inside. And this is slightly smaller than a standard size card. This is going to actually be the scene building for the inside where the pop-up goes. If you're creating pop-up with a pop-up trio, you're going to need a panel for the inside to create the pop-ups from. So I scored this sheet of Bristol Smooth, no, I think this is some Neenah Solar White cardstock rather. And I'm just going to trim it a little bit so it's slightly smaller on the inside so that when you go to fold your card, it's not going to come popping out the sides or anything like that. I just like to kind of have maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around. One side is still much longer, and that's okay because to make this scene look like the front of the card, I am going to use one of the Landscape Trio dies to die cut that top edge to give it that fun little cloud look. Then I'm going to take 2 of the Pop-Up Trio dies and die cut those little pop-ups and then just pop them forward. And there's what the scene's going to look like. Now on the inside front panel of my card, I will go ahead and add spun sugar and dried marigold distress inks. Very, very light. I'm not going to add the water to these, but I just want a touch of that color in the background so that it looks very much like the front of the card. So there is what that's going to look like. I can go ahead and add adhesive on this. If you want to do any stamping, I would recommend doing the stamping first and then adhering this to the inside of the card. So in addition to the greeting on the front, I'm going to take a couple more greetings from the Surprise Sentiment stamp set and stamp those with black ink on the inside. It's going to read a little gift. There's my first little line of text. And then I'll stamp because I love you right under that. Then you want to put adhesive on everything but those little tabs. So right there on that piece, avoiding those tabs, adhesive on the bottom part. Then I like to adhere it to one side first. So we're going to go ahead and adhere it to the bottom. You can see it's a little bit smaller. Fold my card down, and that way there is the whole little inside panel with the pop-ups. I'll go ahead and add the rest or the front card panel now to my card. There's everything. It's so super cute. I'm going to stamp a few more images, color them in with Copic markers. All the colors are the same colors that I've used for everything else. My front panel was a little big, so I'm using some scissors to just trim that up a tiny little bit. All I need now are those additional little images to finish building up my scene. So I've got another bunny, a balloon, a chick, and the stack of presents, as well as some stars. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is much simpler. So I'm using some glue dots to just attach the bunny and the stack of presents to the 2 pop-up areas. Those are going to be the actual pop-up. The chick holding the balloon is going to be flying in the air on this one instead of the bunny. I really love that a couple of the images look like they can be floating through the air with these balloons. I think that's kind of fun. I'll add the stars to the background, much like the front. Just use a liquid adhesive. I'm going to add some little dabs of glue, pick up those stars with a quick stick tool, put them in place. I will not add any of the Nuvo crystal drops to the inside of the card simply because I think that they'll get smashed. So since the card opens and shuts and stuff, so I didn't add any of those on the inside. You definitely could if you wanted to. I kept it pretty simple. There's what the inside looks like. And I kind of boogered up one of my drops, so I fixed that. So when you open the card, it has these cute little pop-up elements. So super fun. Thanks for joining me today for this designer series project featuring the Mama Elephant Party Animals stamps and dies. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant stamps and dies you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.